Tonight, before you go to sleep, I invite you to try something incredibly simple. Take a small bowl of sea salt and place it gently under your bed, not as magic, not as superstition, but as a symbol. A reminder that you are ready to release the heaviness you've been carrying, stress, tension, emotional weight, and wake up lighter, clearer, more present. Sometimes the most powerful transformations begin with the smallest rituals. And tonight, this ritual is your quiet doorway back to peace. When we speak about sea salt, we're not talking about an object that suddenly changes your life. We are speaking about a symbol, something natural, something simple, something that has been with humanity for thousands of years. Salt preserves, salt purifies, salt returns things to their essential state. And when you place a small bowl of sea salt beneath your bed, it is not the salt itself that holds the power, but the intention that lives within you as you do it. You are saying quietly, without words, "Tonight I choose clarity. Tonight I choose release. Tonight I choose peace." So many people fall asleep with crowded minds, thoughts running, emotions lingering, old conversations replaying inside the head long after they ended. And the body carries this weight, the muscles tighten, the breath becomes shallow. Even in sleep, the nervous system does not truly rest. This is why symbolic actions can matter, because they slow you down, they invite awareness, they ask you to become present, just for a moment, before the day closes. Imagine this small ritual. You take the bowl. You fill it with coarse sea salt. You place it under your bed not as superstition, but as a gesture. A gesture that says you are willing to release the noise and hold on to only what is essential. You are willing to let the day dissolve, just as salt dissolves into the ocean. And in that simple moment of intention, something softens inside you. The mind stops fighting, the heart loosens. You begin to remember that peace is not loud. It is quiet. It waits patiently beneath all the layers of stress. Across many cultures, salt has always been connected to protection, cleansing, renewal. But the true protection has never been the salt. The true cleansing has always been your awareness, your clarity, your willingness to stop carrying what no longer belongs to you. When you recognize this, the small bowl beneath your bed becomes like a mirror. It reflects your inner decision to return to stillness, to purity of thought, to emotional lightness. And slowly, night by night, this practice changes your relationship with yourself. You don't run into sleep anymore. You enter it consciously. The bedroom becomes not just a place where the body lies down, but where the spirit rests, where the mind settles, where the heart breathes. In this way, the salt is not a tool. It is a reminder that you already have everything you need to clear your inner world, a reminder that heaviness is optional, and a reminder that peace begins with intention. So tonight, as you prepare for rest, let this small act carry a deep meaning within you. Place the salt not for magic, but for awareness, not for power, but for presence. And let it quietly whisper to your heart, release, soften, let go. So you may rise lighter than before. When you think about the place where you sleep, it is easy to see it as just a room, a bed, a pillow, maybe a lamp or a window. But the truth is, this space holds a very deep role in your life. It is the final place you enter before you surrender your mind to rest, and it is the first place you return to when you awaken to a new day. The bedroom is where the body releases control. It is where the mind becomes quiet. It is where the heart finally has a moment to speak. And yet, many people carry the chaos of the day straight into this sacred space without noticing the impact it has on their inner world. We hurry into bed with our thoughts still racing. We scroll, we worry, we replay, we forecast. The nervous system has no chance to slow down. The bedroom, instead of becoming a sanctuary, becomes an extension of the noise we experienced during the day. And so we sleep, but we do not truly rest. We dream, but we do not restore. The body lies still, but the mind continues its restless journey through all the unfinished pages of our lives. This is why intention is so important. When we consciously prepare our bedroom as a place of peace, it begins to change the way we enter it. Placing sea salt under the bed is not about protection from outside forces, but about reminding yourself that this space is meant for stillness. It is a gesture that honors the room. It says, "Here I release. Here I slow down. Here nothing is demanded of me." And when you bring this awareness into the space, the energy of it shifts. You feel it the moment you cross the threshold. The body loosens, the breath deepens. The mind begins to understand that it no longer needs to fight. In that quiet atmosphere, the bedroom becomes like a cocoon, a place where the experiences of the day dissolve, where tension melts away, where the overstimulated mind finds shelter. This is not imagination. It is the natural response of the nervous system when it is given a signal of safety. And safety comes not from walls or objects, but from the intention you hold when you enter the space. Just as temples, meditation halls, or sacred spaces are treated with respect and awareness, your bedroom can become that same kind of refuge. A place you step into slowly, a place where gratitude enters the heart before sleep arrives, a place where you are allowed to simply be. The salt beneath your bed symbolizes this quiet guardianship of peace. It does not work for you. It reminds you to work within yourself, to release the day, to soften into rest, to remember that sleep is not escape, it is renewal. So much of what we carry in life is invisible. We don't hold it in our hands, yet it weighs on us. A conversation that didn't end well, a disappointment that lingered, a worry about tomorrow that quietly sits in the back of the mind. Throughout the day, these small emotional fragments begin to accumulate, and when evening arrives, instead of laying them down, most people take them with them into bed. The body lies down, but the mind remains standing, still alert, still defending, still thinking. This is why even after hours of sleep, so many people wake up tired. The emotional weight was never released. Before sleep, there is a doorway, a transition between effort and surrender, and the moment you place sea salt beneath your bed with intention, you remind yourself to pause at that doorway, to ask gently, "What am I still holding tonight?" It may be tension, it may be unresolved feelings, it may be unspoken fears, and instead of fighting them or suppressing them, you simply acknowledge them the way you might notice clouds passing in the sky. This simple awareness already begins the process of release. The body is deeply connected to the mind. When the mind is not finished with the day, the body cannot rest fully. Muscles remain slightly tense. Breathing remains shallow. Dreams become busy. But when you consciously invite the day to end, the nervous system receives a different message. It understands that it no longer needs to be in defense mode. It can soften, it can surrender, it can trust. The salt beneath the bed becomes a symbol of this surrender. Not a force outside of you, but a reminder within you. A reminder that you do not need to solve everything before sleep. You do not need to carry the world on your shoulders through the night. You're allowed to let the emotional dust of the day settle. You're allowed to release the weight you gathered without noticing. Imagine ending the day like the ocean releasing the tide. The water does not cling. It recedes naturally, returning to stillness. In the same way, you allow your emotions to return to quiet. You are not erasing them. You are simply choosing not to sleep inside them. And when this becomes a nightly practice, something shifts deep inside. Sleep becomes deeper. Dreams become calmer. The heart no longer strains to be heard. It rests. This is the real meaning of waking up lighter, not because life has changed overnight, but because you stopped dragging yesterday into today. You gave your mind permission to reset, and with that reset comes clarity, strength, and inner peace. So each night, before you lie down, pause for a moment. Acknowledge what you are carrying. Breathe, release, and allow the night to cradle you gently so you may awaken renewed. Real protection has never come from the outside. It does not come from an object, a charm, or a ritual by itself. True protection grows from the inside, from the clarity of your awareness and the steadiness of your presence. When we speak about placing sea salt beneath the bed, it is not about creating a barrier against the world. It is about remembering to return to yourself, because when the mind becomes scattered, when the heart becomes overwhelmed, fear finds space to grow. But when awareness is present, the mind becomes calm, and in that calmness, you rediscover your natural strength. Every day the world pulls at your attention. Responsibilities, expectations, information, noise. Slowly, without noticing, your inner center drifts. You begin to live more in reaction than in presence. And when that happens, even small problems start to feel heavy. The nervous system becomes alert. The mind becomes restless. Anxiety begins to whisper. It is not that life suddenly became dangerous. It is that you lost connection to your inner grounding. The small ritual of placing salt beneath the bed serves as a reminder to come back to that grounding. Before sleep, you pause. You become aware of your breath. You notice your thoughts without being consumed by them. And in this simple act of presence, something stabilizes inside you. You remember that you are not your worries. You are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them. This remembering is the real protection. Because when awareness is strong, you stop absorbing everything around you. You begin to observe instead of react. You begin to respond instead of panic. The heart becomes steady again. The breath deepens. Fear loosens its grip. This is not about becoming hard or closed. It is about being anchored, like a tree with deep roots that can bend with the wind but will not be uprooted. Salt has always symbolized purity and clarity. Let it simply remind you that the mind too can be purified through awareness, through softness, through stillness. The more you cultivate this inner clarity, the less the outer world can disturb your peace. Protection, then, is no longer something you seek. It is something you embody. And sleep becomes different when you rest from this place. You no longer fall asleep in fear or uncertainty. You enter the night with trust. Trust in your ability to meet life. Trust in your inner strength. Trust that no matter what happens, you can return to your center again and again. So as you prepare to rest, let the salt beneath your bed be a quiet symbol, not of superstition, but of self-remembrance. A reminder that your greatest shield is awareness, your deepest safety is presence, and your true protection has always lived within you. Our lives today move at a pace that the heart was never designed to sustain endlessly. Voices, notifications, deadlines, constant stimulation from every direction. The mind rarely receives silence anymore. And when silence disappears, inner peace slowly fades with it. This is why gentle rituals become so important. They are not about creating magic. They are about reclaiming presence. When you place sea salt under your bed at night, you are not trying to control the world. You are simply creating a moment of pause, a moment where you step out of the rush, return to yourself, and reconnect with the quiet that has always lived within you. When a ritual is simple, the mind does not resist it. There is no pressure, no expectation, just a soft invitation to slow down. Each evening, when you prepare your space for sleep, this act becomes a mindful signal that the day is ending. The body hears it. The nervous system hears it. The heart hears it. You begin to establish a rhythm, a transition from activity into rest, like the sun sinking toward the horizon and surrendering the sky to night. This rhythm is healing because harmony is natural to the human spirit. We suffer when we live out of alignment with it. People often believe peace must be something dramatic, a breakthrough, a life-changing event. But true peace is quiet. It arrives in small gestures, repeated with sincerity. Lighting a candle, taking a deep breath, sitting for a moment in stillness, placing salt beneath your bed. These actions remind the mind that not every moment requires effort. Some moments exist simply to allow you to return to balance. Over time, these quiet rituals begin to shape your inner world. You become less reactive, less easily shaken. The heart becomes softer, yet stronger. You start to feel held by life rather than chased by it. And because you end your evenings consciously, you begin your mornings differently as well. You wake without the residue of yesterday's noise because you learned to release it the night before. This is what it means to cultivate peace rather than search for it. You are no longer waiting for the world to become calm. You are becoming calm within the world. And this is the greatest gift you can offer yourself, because when you are peaceful inside, everything around you becomes easier to face. Challenges become lessons. Stress becomes temporary. Even discomfort becomes manageable when the foundation of your being is steady and clear. So let your evening ritual be gentle. Let it be quiet. Let it simply remind you that you are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to return to yourself at the end of each day. And as you do, peace will no longer feel distant. It will feel natural. Because the moment you choose presence, you have already begun to heal. When you begin to treat sleep as a sacred transition rather than a moment of collapse, something subtle but powerful starts to shift within you. You no longer carry yesterday into tomorrow unconsciously. You begin to release, to reset, to renew. And when this happens, the way you awaken changes naturally. You don't wake up immediately chasing the day or running toward your responsibilities. You wake up with a sense of space inside you, a calmness, a grounded awareness that reminds you that you are more than the tasks and roles you fulfill. This lightness is not the absence of problems. Life continues, challenges still come, but the difference is that your inner world is no longer crowded. You are not waking up already tired from the emotional weight of the day before. Instead, the night has become a quiet companion, a time where your mind gently reorganizes, your body restores itself, and your heart finds balance again. When you rise in the morning, you feel aligned rather than scattered, centered rather than overwhelmed. The practice of placing sea salt beneath your bed is simply a symbol of this intention. Each night it reminds you that your inner clarity matters, that your peace matters, that the quality of your sleep influences the quality of your waking life. And as you grow more conscious of this, you start to notice how you carry yourself differently throughout the day. Your reactions soften, your awareness deepens. You begin to listen more to yourself, to others, to life unfolding around you. Waking up lighter also means waking up with gratitude. The morning no longer feels like a burden you must endure. It becomes a gift, a new page, a fresh beginning. And when you step into the day with that mindset, your actions naturally become more intentional. You choose your words more carefully. You protect your energy more wisely. You honor your boundaries more gently. You start to live with presence instead of momentum. And presence is what truly transforms your life. Because when you are present, you are no longer driven by unconscious tension. You notice the beauty in simple moments, the warmth of sunlight, the stillness of early air, the quiet rhythm of your breath. These are not small things. They are reminders of connection, a connection to life itself, a connection to the deeper part of you that remains untouched by stress. Over time, this way of living becomes natural. You don't need to force calmness. You begin to be calm. You don't try to chase happiness. You begin to embody contentment. You wake up not searching for peace, but already resting within it. So when you place that small bowl of sea salt beneath your bed, let it be a symbol of your commitment to inner clarity. Let it remind you that your nights are for restoration and your mornings are for renewal. And as you live with this awareness, you will discover that waking up lighter is simply the result of living more consciously, more gently, and more deeply connected to who you truly are.